Okay, here we go.
Hey Poopy, how you doing? Hey Poopy, how you doing?
Oh man, I'm just, trying to find a place with like-minded people to talk about like-minded things about me, about poop and stuff.
Hey Poopy, how you doing? Hey Poopy, how you doing?
Oh man, what's this right here? Is this a podcast about poop?
And now, shooting the shit with Dave and Ellen.
Hey everybody, we are back.
I sound very husky because I have laryngitis.
It's good radio, good podcasting.
This is my drag queen version of myself.
Quality and podcasting.
Hey everybody, it's a dump day. And it's the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving. But this is Shooting the Shit with
Dave
and Ellen.
And Ellen's deep voice now.
And my deep husky voice.
I had a little extra low end right now too, so you'll sound like really beefy.
And this is episode 44, but it'll always be number 2 to us. And we have an amazing guest today, Craig
Teper.
Hello.
Hi.
Studio.
Hi.
Who we
Welcome.
just met for the first time, but was suggested by our friend Alyssa Abramson. She's the nutritionalist we interviewed, and she's gotten us a couple of guests because I guess talking about nutrition, she then will talk about poop.
Yeah.
I guess that's part of the
end
result.
In one end, out the other. But welcome.
God
Thanks for
help
coming
us.
on.
She told me this was a Winnie the Pooh podcast.
Oh.
I prepared,
Different one.
no, okay.
Different one. But, I'm sure Pooh
I just reread them all for no reason.
dumps in the woods a lot. After all that honey.
All that honey, yeah.
He'll do it to you. So, well, we always start off our show with a little check-in. So we always ask our guests, because they go first, how are your poops been? And Ellen's going to whip out a chart for you to take a look at.
Oh, is it the Bristol? Is it the Bristol stool chart?
Yes, thank you.
I'm
Good.
a
Good.
big fan of the Bristol stool chart.
So, well, I'm glad you know what it is. We have some guests on who's never even seen it before, and they're like, "What's
Oh no,
this?"
I know my poo. No, my poos are pretty consistent. I mean, I've never been constipated.
Wow.
Never?
Ever. Not one day of my life.
That's amazing.
And I've trained myself to be on a fairly regular schedule.
Excellent.
Yeah, so
I'm jealous of all of the above.
So this is an interesting version of the Bristol stool chart, though. The naming is pretty good because it has the little, like, the one that I would think of like as raisinets, which is the number 1 on this chart. It says looks like rabbit droppings.
Yeah.
And then the 2 is looks like a bunch of grapes. Corn on the cob, sausage, chicken nuggets, porridge, and number 7, gravy.
Oh, great. Yeah. 4 is what you want. 4 is like the sort of the gold standard.
4 is what you want.
Where do you fall?
What's between a 4 and a 5? What's between a sausage and a chicken nugget?
A
The
fish stick?
4.5.
Maybe a fish stick or some kind of kids lunchable.
I think I'm kind of a lunchable. Yeah,
Okay.
4.5.
I mean, I think that's kind of standard. I think a lot of people have that.
Yeah.
I fluctuate between a 3 and a 6. Somewhere in that range. Which
Porridge.
I mean, yeah. It kind of like there's a little like rust on the old iron sides.
Well, I do. So I'm not doing it currently, but for a long time I would do a no carb diet where you have like a cheat day one day a week and you can eat whatever you want, and the day after the cheat day is like like you want a seat belt.
Oh yeah,
on your toilet, because basically your body's getting rid of all of this fat that it doesn't need, and it's so well trained to get rid of it. So when you eat all of this crap on the cheat day, it just gets rid of 99% of it very quickly and effectively. So you end up with like somewhere between the porridge and the gravy, but like
it's like a roller coaster ride between 1 and 7.
It is. It's like like
ups,
a nitro charged version. It's pretty incredible. But currently I'm not doing that. So
so 4 between a 4 and a 5.
between a 4 and a 5, I would say.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. Well, it's episode 44, so let's see. I'm a 44.
Excellent.
4.4.
Did you poop today?
I did.
So
I
when
usually
you do your
like,
schedule,
usually it's pretty soon after I wake up. I like to be able to jump in the shower afterwards, so that you're all set for the day.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the winning combination.
It is
showering after the poo.
And you don't want to
The other way around sucks.
The other way around's terrible. And you don't want to be the kind of person that poos at work, I think.
I mean, I go wherever nature calls.
Well, you should. I mean, you shouldn't.
I have,
hold it
but
in,
that's like kind of like a rare.
Yeah, there's shame involved.
I'm not into that.
We had a guest who almost never poops at home. He only poops at work, and to the point where on the weekends he doesn't even poop.
Yeah, I was
Isn't
shocked.
that crazy?
That's a superpower.
That is. Well, someone used to work for me. Used to always poo at work, and we used to lecture him about how he had to train himself. There's probably a lawsuit, actually, now that I'm admitting this. But,
well,
Dave, I can go.
Yeah, sure.
So, as you can tell, I have a very husky laryngitis voice. That we're recording this on Wednesday, and on Monday, I completely lost my voice. It was barely a whisper. I'm glad I can at least talk now. So I was looking up all these things online about like how can you do stuff at home to help you get your voice back. And I was texting with Dave that one of the things is like apple cider vinegar with warm water and honey. And so I tried it and it tasted awful, but I was just like chugging it because I was like, whatever gets me my voice back. Not even 2 hours later, the farts I was making from that apple cider vinegar was it like they could peel paint off a wall.
acidic.
So insane. Woohoo! They were so loud, so stinky, and I was like, there was literally nothing different I ate today.
The honey didn't round them out in kind of a nice way. No.
And it was just 2 tablespoons of vinegar. I wasn't like downing like cup after cup because after that first cup I was like, I just can't drink vinegar. This is so gross. Warm vinegar, warm sweet vinegar.
Honey was like 10 miles behind vinegar. I trying to catch up, being like, wait. Yeah. I used to do a remedy for like really sore throats as well. I would do like a cap full of apple cider vinegar, honey. I just forgot until you just mentioned it, and a couple slices of
American
ginger,
cheese.
American cheese,
and cheese whiz. No, some slices of ginger and just hot water, and that works
nice.
And a little cayenne pepper, a tiny bit of cayenne pepper, like a tiny.
That's basically what I was doing all Monday.
That's also for a cleanse, right?
Yeah,
that evacuates
there's some of that stuff. Yeah, but it was great for the. I mean, they say raw honey helps a lot. If you get the Manuka honey too, which is like so fucking expensive, but that's supposed to do wonders for your body.
You can get it at Trader Joe's for pretty cheap.
They got it at Food Town now, which I'm kind of like, I'm not buying this as real Manuka honey, but whatever. It was expensive.
Well, I like how
had the price tag on it.
Food Town has their own brand now, their in-store brand.
Oh,
yeah.
Urban Meadow.
Yeah,
they try to fool you into thinking it's good, but it's just the crappy Food Town brand with a new logo.
Dude, I do Urban. Actually, Gal Friday told us about Urban Meadow for her toilet paper.
Oh, and she did Panda.
Yeah, and I completely forgot. Well, here's the thing. It was Panda, but she also Urban Meadow. She mentioned that before, but I also forgot that's the tissue brand I always get because it's like 3 boxes for like $1.
But you don't end up with like a raw.
No, it's weird. It's crazy. I'm surprised I haven't. But
wow.
I mean, if it gets to the point where I'm doing that, then I go for like a little bit, a little softer. I'll upgrade to Puffs or something.
If you're really sick, you get the Puffs Plus.
Yeah, but for the most part, I just get like the general working man's Urban Meadow. It's great and it's so cheap. Oh my god, it's a lot. It's like a really inexpensive.
So after my gassy Monday, I then yesterday did, I think, like 1s and 2s on the Bristol stool chart. They were very unimpressive, and I was really pissed off. And I think it was because I did that Mucinex nighttime, and I think that nighttime sleeping stuff makes me constipated. And so last night, because I had to wake up early this morning because of all my shitty errands I had to do, I was like, I'm not going to take anything before I go to bed so I can get up. Today, I was like number 6 Bristol stool chart, filled up the toilet while on the phone with my stepmother, who the conversation was really annoying.
Do you think that's the reason?
Maybe. But I couldn't. I wish I could have told her, I just made the biggest dump.
I love how you're just talking to your stepmother on the toilet.
I started the phone call with my dad because it's his 80th birthday today. We record this. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Jerry.
We record this weeks before the actual episode comes out, but so I was talking to him, and then he was like, "Oh, your stepmom wants to talk to you." So I was on the phone with them for over half an hour. So when I started the phone call, I did not have to poop. By the end of the phone call, I had to poop.
I thought you were going to say when you started talking to him, you were at a 3.
Yeah.
And then by the time
I kind of thought you were going there 6, too. I was like, wait, what?
No, when I started with him, I was fine. Just sitting on the couch, talking to my dad about life.
And then
but as soon as my stepmom got on, I was like, now my stomach is upset.
I'll call you back. There's no way I'm having that conversation with my parents.
No.
I think I've done that once. I mean, I bet I've been so sick and I just happened to call and I'm like, oh my God, I got to do this now because I'm not going to.
Oh, I am shitting on the phone so many times. Like
On the phone while you're shitting, not shitting on the phone.
Yes. Sorry.
I'm pretty sure they don't cover that in the
Apple Care
plan.
But yeah,
why is all this feces all over this?
Especially when I'm calling places like Verizon and complaining about my cable.
Yeah, well, that's different.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll fuck that.
But all those conversations get me in a really shitty mood, and and I have to quit.
I think I pretty much, if I have to call Spectrum, I wait until I have diarrhea.
Oh my God, Spectrum, the worst.
I put it on speaker so they can hear it.
Hey guys, that's what I think of your service. Well, my poops have been pretty, again, it's been a kind of mixed bag. I feel like a couple days ago it was just really bad, almost 7. But not I wasn't feeling bad. I felt fine, and then then I went back to
you ate
3.5, 3.5, 4. No, I don't know what the hell happened.
I was there a few days ago too. Do you think it's a moon phase thing?
Maybe.
Oh,
it just happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Every once in a while I'm well, it happens if I go to the bathroom more than twice. Usually by the end, that third one, it's pretty.
In one day, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, I go to the bathroom anywhere from 1 to I would say 2 is about on lately has been pretty the average, but there's those times where it's 3, and the 3s usually by that third one, it's just it's a mess.
Oh yeah, you're not doing.
Yeah, it's not quality; it's just quantity.
3 number 4s.
Yeah, so by the third one, it's just it's not even. I don't know what it is anymore.
It's just it's leftover,
something that used to be fecal matter, but is no longer. But anyway, that's where we're at.
Oh, also with my check-in, so on Saturday I went to Connecticut to celebrate my dad's birthday, and I wanted to stop by Trader Joe's on the way to get some ice cream because where we celebrated, I made him a dessert, but it would be nice to have ice cream on. And so as soon as I walked into Trader Joe's, I texted Dave. I went and peed because it was an over an hour car ride. As soon as I was done peeing, I go to pull my pants up, and I was like, nope, I gotta sit back down. They had, thankfully, nice seat covers. Mm-hmm. Totally exploded.
Oh.
They're Bristol 4 or 5, fold up the toilet. I was like,
oh, Jesus.
At Trader Joe's.
Wow.
Ellen has these crazy,
do they have Trader Joe's toilet paper in the bathroom at Trader Joe's?
I think so,
they
actually.
Must.
Yeah.
Be fucked up. Be oh, this is Scott. Cheaper.
Some industrial brand.
Yeah, maybe. They probably do.
No, I think they do. But
Scott's when you have to, when you're out of toilet paper and you have to get bodega toilet paper. And you get the Scott where you're.
I love Scott.
You like Scott?
Yeah, we're
really?
both.
It lasts forever. We have a Tushy, which we'll go into, but we have a little
you have a Tushy.
Yeah, a snap-on bidet thing. So you wind up using less TP, and then it's just you just buy the Scott. It's pretty much lasts forever.
Well, I just subscribed to the Charmin Mega Roll.
Oh shit!
The giant.
The infinity roll.
It's the blue. It's the blue Charmin, the nice soft one.
Blue.
It's not the color of the paper. But
Oh,
the color of the
gotcha. Okay.
It's the soft Charmin. It's not the heavy duty. There's one that's it's like a Swiffer pad. It's so thick. This is I think it's the perfect.
It's an in between
Charmin.
Okay.
But the roll is enormous.
Yeah, where do you hang it?
Well, there's a stand.
So you bought the stand and everything?
With the stand.
No way.
So I figured I needed the stand anyway.
How big is your bathroom?
And it's the kind of size roll that you see in a store.
Yeah, no,
in a Target, in the public bathroom.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to last a month, but I only get about 3 weeks out of it. So maybe my frequency is
in college. I used to when I went to school for design, but we were all in the art design building. It was a brand new building, and what I used to do is go to this one bathroom down near the sculpture lab, what do you call it? Where my brain's not working today. Wherever they fire the kiln, this giant furnace downstairs.
Kiln.
So we go down there. There's a bathroom down there no one ever used, and I would always take off the giant roll and bring it home to because my roommates would never we'd always forget to. So I'm I'm just gonna put this in my room, and then I'll have it forever. And I did that for a couple of years. It was awesome.
Wow. Was it extra hot in the bathroom by the kiln?
Depending on the day when they fired it up. I mean, it was so set up that you couldn't really, but it was it was definitely a little warmer down there.
So would you carry that mega roll with you
In my
to and
backpack.
from your room? No. I'm saying like
Oh, when I first started doing it, yeah.
because
But
you
then-
didn't want to share it with your
Yeah,
roommates.
but then I just like after a while, I'm like, they're like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, oh man. They're like somebody goes to the bathroom with this thing. I'm like, oh,
But
well,
you couldn't put it. You couldn't fit it on the.
it wouldn't fit.
holder.
You had to
So
put like in
just-
the back of the toilet or something like that. So I think towards
Like
the
a
end,
spare tire.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
like when it got towards like the end, you can kind of like hang it, but not really.
so funny.
Yeah. So
Well, the other good thing with the mega roll is that it uses one small core for this giant roll. So it's good for the environment. You're using
Right,
less
you're not using-
cardboard, and it doesn't come wrapped in any plastic.
well, I was just, Scott
But they
does the
do-
same thing too.
yeah.
I was
Can
like,
you only buy it online? Like
Yes, and you get 3 at once.
whoa, where do you
So you get
store the
3
other
months.
ones?
I have
In a separate unit?
I had to rent a second apartment to keep the.
well, that is fascinating. I love that.
Yeah, you
So-
just answered one of our main questions.
So, Craig, tell us about yourself. Like, what's your deal, man?
What's my deal? Well, I'm a filmmaker. I direct. I make documentaries and direct commercials and things like that.
Oh,
Not poo related
Not yet,
okay.
at least.
yet. Charmin, if you're listening, I'd love to.
you like
do
fingers
your work.
crossed? No.
Yeah, I live in Williamsburg. I have for many years.
Cool.
Keep it regular. You mean non-poo related?
Oh
Can
yeah.
you just tell us
It's
your
like a
background?
little background
Yeah,
story
no,
before we
I
get into
grew
some
up,
shitty stories.
Grew up in.
How
and
do you
around
know
New York.
Minnie or Alyssa?
That's not an interesting story.
Oh, but how did she connect us?
Well, so the reason she wanted me to connect with you guys is that I have a painting in my apartment that she saw.
Oh, okay.
Now I remember
And
this conversation.
It's kind of a large painting. It's about 6 feet wide
Oh, nice.
and about 5 feet high. And what happened was I grew up in Westchester,
Okay.
in Mamaroneck, and there's a very famous hot dog stand
Oh yeah.
called Walter's.
Yes, I've been there.
You've been there.
Really good.
And it's been there over 100 years or almost 100 years.
A long time.
It's on the National Register of Historic Places because the design of the hot dog stand is a roadside Chinese pagoda, which was kind of an offshoot of Art Deco, and it's a style
Okay.
that they don't do anymore. And it's one of the few
Oh.
examples left. And they make these it's a very special hot dog place. They have their own kinds of
They're
hot dogs.
delicious.
They kind of look like a 4 on the chart. And I've been going there my whole life. And I was up there once several years ago. And it was the first time I ever used the bathroom there.
Wait, side note. That's the place that's got like 2 toilets like in the bath.
Well, yeah, so I go in the bathroom and there's 2 toilets next to
Yep,
each other.
right? I was like, what the fuck?
It's one room, just totally open room, and there are 2 toilets right next to each other,
Yep.
no divider, just like his and hers, king and queen kind of set up, or twins, or however you want to. And there's toilet paper on one wall. So if you were tandem toileting, one person would either have to reach over the other if they were rude, or ask the other one for. So it's this very strange setup.
It's a weird setup.
I'd taken a picture of it, and I showed this picture to a friend of mine just because I thought it was funny, and he said, "Oh, can you send me that? That's really funny." And I sent it to him. And my friend, whose name is Nicky Francis, he's a musician and he's an artist, and I'd always wanted a painting of his, and I had taken some photos for his band that they used on their
Oh, cool.
album cover or something, and then he said, "I wanted to thank you for doing that, so I made you a painting." And I was like, "Great." He goes, "But it's kind of big. You're gonna have to rent a van." So he lives not far from here, and I rented a van, and I went to pick up the painting, and the painting was a very photorealistic, exact duplicate of the photo I took of the Walters bathroom with the 2 toilets.
Oh my god! Please, can we get a photo of that
I
painting?
will send you. You can put.
Thank you.
And so he said, I have high ceilings in my living room, and he said, "I painted this for over your couch because you have all this big white wall." And then he said, "Look, I know this is a lot, so if it's too much, you don't have to take it." But he'd put so much. It's a really wonderful painting. There's a lot of detail. It's great, but it was kind of a lot to have over the couch. So I kind of put it in the bedroom so that the first thing people see is that when they walk in my house isn't the painting of the 2 toilets.
Right.
So it's there. So basically every day when I wake up, I was talking about how the fact that every day when I wake up, I look at these 2 toilets is the first thing I see. And then she's like, you have to meet my friends and be on their podcast.
Oh my God, that's great. It's so funny. I'm pretty sure I posted that same photo on Instagram.
Oh, really?
Because my friend is from there and that area, and I walked in. I'm like, what is going on with this bathroom?
Like, I've been going there since I'm a little kid, and the high school I went to was right across the street.
Okay.
And I've gone there countless times, but I'd never used the bathroom before until a few years ago. I had no idea there were these two toilets next to each other.
My mind was blown when I walked in that bathroom. I'm like, okay.
I just imagine someone there
been
blown in that bathroom.
Yeah, well, that's true.
It's a hot dog place.
There's a famous hot dog place in Connecticut called the Super Duper Weenie.
Yeah, Super Duper Weenie.
Yeah.
Do they have two tandem toilets?
I don't remember their toilet.
Oh.
I don't eat hot dogs, so I don't know if yeah.
Well, if we ever go to Super Duper Weenie, we'll have to go check out the bathroom situation and get back.
That's awesome. Does you think because you poo in the morning, when you wake up, you see that painting and it inspires your bowel movements?
For a while, I wondered if it was affecting my worldview, because the first thing I would wake up in the morning and the first thing I would think is like, oh shit, I can't do it. God, Jesus. And I thought, is this because I'm looking at toilets? But really, I think the painting, I see two things when I look at the painting. One, I see this, my friend showing me love and affection by putting all this work into something and making me this thing.
Yeah.
And the other is like this place I've gone to since I'm a kid. Like, I'm very fond. So I don't see it as two toilets. I see it as this very warm.
Nostalgic.
Yeah, it's nostalgic.
Yeah.
It's a memory.
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
I think it's great. And I can't wait to see this painting. It's pretty amazing. So
maybe I have this like secret wish since we started this podcast to do a photo shoot of me and Dave together on tandem toilets,
Oh my God.
holding hands.
we should go there and just do
and
it.
it sounds like we found the location.
We may have to go there. Ginger's mom lives in that area. That's how we know about it. Because I had heard about Walter's, went there, and I was like, this toilets, it's hilarious.
I just like envision that as our press photo.
Oh my God. Wow, that's really good.
It's a great painting, right? Yeah, I'm holding it up now.
Craig is showing us the actual painting that's above his bedroom.
It is worse than I thought. I for some reason thought the toilets were a little further away from each other.
That's holding hands.
Foot 14 inches across.
Yeah, your feet would touch.
Oh my God. And I love that it's literally his and hers.
Well, I also love that one of them has
We'll
looks like one of them has a seat and one doesn't.
Yeah.
And also just the toilet paper is just on the one wall. So
like
somebody has to reach
The
across.
one on the right is for people who are shitting. The one on the left are people who are standing up to pee.
Yeah, it's like a number one and a number two.
I think what happened was they were installing the toilet and the guy was friends with whoever Walter was and was like, hey man, we got an extra one in the back that we're just getting rid of. And you got plenty of space in there. Do you want this? He's like, yeah. For free? Fuck it.
I mean, I don't know if these are original. I think the building's from the 1920s or even the 19-teens.
I remember they upgraded.
So I don't know if these are original toilets.
Well, either way, I'm guessing that they got some kind of twofer deal.
I bet
they do have a double hot dog on one bun thing, so maybe it's like related to the.
Look, you get it?
I bet they actually the bathroom was big enough and they were like, we could probably get 2 toilets in here with a divider like a normal public bathroom. And when they got the 2 toilets in, they went to go put the divider in and they were like, oh shit, we didn't measure, this isn't working, but we're not going to take the second toilet out, might as well keep it.
I'm thinking they got it for free because they're just like, we'll take it, but we're not going to put a TP roll in the other side. We're just fuck it. Like it's either or.
Well, I've never been to China, but a lot of one thing I always hear from people who go to China is that you often find bathrooms that have multiple toilets with no divider.
Yeah, that's too intimate for me.
The only other time I've really seen that was when I was in preschool. Like there was like a bathroom for just the kindergarten preschool room, and there were 2 tiny little kid toilets
Potties.
in there. Yeah, but they were properly hooked up to the sewer system, but there were 2 tiny little toilets, and I don't think the teachers ever went in there, but it was for like 4 and 5-year-olds, and there were 2 of them in there, so 2 little ones could poop and pee at the same time.
Buddy system.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
God, I have no memory of preschool.
Oh my God, I have so many memories. It's
remember.
insane.
I remember that preschool is like a thing, but just like I don't remember like anything about like the facility.
I don't
remember my parents picking me up. Like that's about it. There's a sandbox, I think, somewhere, and some toys out in the front.
I remember the boy I had a crush on. I remember the girl who had a crush on me. I remember peeing. I went to a private school that on May Day they would let you wear like cute sundresses and dance around the maypole. And looking back at my private school, it was very kind of pagan, which is really funny. We did a winter festival and all the rest of it. And I peed in my cute little spring dress.
Wow, that's amazing. I have zero memory of any of that stuff.
I remember we were playing Farmer in the Dell one time.
Aww.
You know, they did a whole song, and I was the farmer. No, sorry, I wasn't the farmer. This kid was the farmer. And then when they said farmer picks a wife, he kept trying to pick me, and they were like, yo, you can't pick him, he's a boy.
And you're like, no, but I'm okay with being the
and
wife.
And then I got to be something else. But then he crapped himself. During the Farm in the Dell.
It's probably because he was told that being gay was a bad idea, and he had anxiety.
Yeah.
Poor kid. Fuck those teachers. And that's so loving that he wanted you to be his wife. He had a crush on you.
You're like, me? Ooh, nice.
I didn't even think. I just thought, I got picked for a game. I was just excited.
Yeah.
You're like, sweet, man. You're like, you're ready to high five this guy.
I remember peeing my little sundress, and then I called my mom and I was like, you need to come and bring me a new dress because everybody else is in the entire school is dressed up in these beautiful little sundresses. And I was the only one who couldn't because I peed in it. And for some reason, they made me go to the cafeteria, and the ladies at the cafeteria put my dress in the dishwasher to clean it. And I had to wait for it to dry.
What were you wearing while that was?
Somebody else's gym clothing. And I just stood there in the cafeteria and I was like, I'm not going back to class because I'm not going to be the only little girl in this entire school wearing gym clothes when everybody else is dressed really cute. And I just remember standing there in the cafeteria like crying, like I can't believe I peed in my sundress.
These are very specific memories. My God, I don't remember anything from my preschool at all.
If you poop or pee yourself, though, memories you tend to never forget those moments.
I guess. Maybe I just didn't. Like, fuck it. There'll be more of these coming down the pipe.
I mean, I remember I had a friend who had a barbecue one time, and we were in the backyard, and a friend of mine asked the whole group, like, when's the last time you shit yourself? So everyone just started telling stories about when the last time or when was the time they shit themselves, and the level of detail. It's because once it happens, you never forget it. You remember every single moment, and every story was funnier than the last, and we just kind of went around the group. It was amazing.
Well, since we're on that topic,
tell us your
tell us some stories.
My story. Well, I think that night I remember telling two stories. One wasn't mine. One's a story I heard, and one was my story.
We like both.
Yeah,
firsthand.
The story I heard. I remember someone telling me a story about a guy they knew who was some kind of very prominent surgeon, maybe like a heart surgeon or something.
Okay,
and he lived on the Upper East Side, like lived right by Central Park. And he went out jogging like on a summer morning, like one of those days where it's 90 something and humid in the morning.
Oh yeah.
And so he left his house just wearing sneakers and shorts. No shirt, no wallet, no keys.
Ballsy.
Lives in a doorman building. So he doesn't need his keys or anything.
That is arrogance. I'm sorry. I run a lot.
He's a surgeon.
Yeah, well, there you go. It's true. They're playing God.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
So this guy went out jogging in Central Park, and he was running, and at some point during his run, he just got like like his stomach was just...
Did it sound like this? Well, we can imagine it sounds like
this is how I imagine it, yeah. So as he's jogging just in his shorts, that hits him, and so he tries to make a run for one of the public bathrooms in Central Park.
Okay, which sure was
you only use when you're desperate,
exactly,
or up to no good,
or buying some drugs.
And he's running, and he doesn't make it. He drops what I would say is probably a number 6.
Woo!
Somewhere between a 6 and a 7.
Loosey goosey,
very loose. And
nobody shits their pants, Bristol, for one. It just never happens.
Yeah, it's never
or a perfect 4.
Yeah. It's always a 6 or a 7.
Yeah, 4 can wait till you get home. Yeah. So it hits him pretty hard, and he makes it to the bathroom, and he gets into a stall, and he pulls his shorts down, and they're just full. It's like just like a sack of mud.
Oh yeah, and it's the worst because in running shorts you have that mesh liner that just kind of acts like a strainer, and it's just bad.
It's like cheese making.
Yeah.
Jesus. Like separating
It
away
is.
from the curds.
It is very similar.
And he takes to clean the shorts off. He puts them in the toilet. He has no choice. So he's in like the dirty Central Park toilet. He's washing his
Holy
shorts.
shit.
Naked.
Washing his shorts, and then he realizes he's got stuff on him. So he turns around to see if he can get toilet paper and wipe himself off. And as he does, the automatic flusher sucked his shorts down.
Are you fucking serious?
This is the story I heard.
Oh my god.
So now he's naked.
Oh.
He's naked and encrusted, I would say.
Caked on.
And I think he has surgery that morning. He's got to get home and get to work. Like someone's life is on the line.
This arrogant son of a bitch.
His ego got the better of him.
Fevered egos usually do.
And then a homeless guy came into the bathroom with like a shopping cart full of stuff, and he's like, "Can I get some of that stuff? Like a plastic bag, anything? I'll take anything. You can follow me home. I'll give you money." And the guy just like stared at him and walked away. Didn't get mad.
Not even the homeless guy wanted
The homeless
to help.
guy's
No,
like,
he was
I don't have a home, and I've seen some shit on the streets, but this is too much.
Even I am not standing naked and
Yeah,
crusted. And
he's like, shit's the thing that's like it repels anything. You're like, no, it repels like offers of money.
Yeah.
so he decides to make a break for it just to get home. So he runs straight out of the bathroom, and then there's like it must have been a camp trip because it's
Oh
like
my
summer
God.
or summer school or little kids with a teacher. So he goes and hides in a bush, and then he kind of just collects leaves and stuff and just runs home covered. And he said he got all the way back to his building just running down the street naked, covered in shit.
Oh my God.
And he got up to his building, and the doorman said, "I'm not even going to ask."
Yeah. I mean,
So that was the one.
That doorman must have got a huge tip for the Christmas.
No, but how did this
Bonus.
story get out?
So, I don't know. I was working on a shoot, and I had a friend who told me that story.
Oh,
I
it's
never
so
forgot it.
good.
Like, this is a long time ago.
It's like an urban legend.
And I don't even care if it's true. I just
Yeah,
like
I
the
don't
story
care
so
what
much.
I could
It's like
totally see
the
that being
story that
true.
Matt Holtzclaw told us on the first guest episode, where supposedly somebody in Grand Central had to go so badly and just ran into a stall and like turned around, sat down, and as he's shitting, he feels a hand on his back.
Was it a ghost?
We don't know.
I don't care.
It's another one of those
I
urban
don't
legends.
give a shit. That is true in my book. That is a true
that's great.
story. Because
because you don't have all your senses about you at that point.
Yeah, but the doctor. I'm not even going to ask.
So, but then the story I told that was about me was I think I was like 13.
Okay.
And I was with my family. We were visiting my grandmother and grandfather in Florida. And whenever we'd go down there, my grandfather would give us, my brother and I, each a $50 bill.
Nice.
Which was
amazing.
pretty big money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we would visit Uncle Max.
If anybody gave me a $50 bill today,
I'd be
I'd
pretty
be
excited.
high-fiving
Yeah, totally.
people.
You had a pretty
Totally.
good day. You're like, I got a 50.
$50 bill.
Yeah.
But even better, we would always go out to dinner with my father's Uncle Max, who would take us to dinner, and he would come over. He'd do like the, come here. You're a good boy. Or you like shake your hand and be like, don't tell your parents I gave you this.
Nice.
No. And $100.
Whoa!
So
You're getting the grease job. He's
Right.
like, what's up?
So at this point, I have $150 in my Velcro wallet.
Nice.
And
And you're 13. That's
and I'm
like
13.
That's like $1 million.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
$1 million, exactly.
To a 13-year-old, you're like,
Yeah.
do you know how much candy I could buy?
So I'm like buying yachting magazines, and I'm trying to figure out which boat I'm going to buy. No, but so we're at the swimming pool the next day, and it was me and my brother and mother were hanging out at the pool at where we're staying, and all of a sudden I get a bit of an urge to go. Nothing like major.
A little twinge.
Just time to go.
Little pinch.
So I asked for the room key, and I'm walking back to the room. And at this time, I was obsessed with the movie Cheech and Chong Up in Smoke.
Oh,
And there's
I
the
have
part-
the soundtrack here.
Oh, really? Do you? Well, you seem to have every record.
Yeah.
Very
Well, it's
impressive.
in there.
But you know the part where he's walking, he's going, cheeks stay together, man. Cheeks stay together. So I was doing that to myself. Like I was like making myself laugh, walking back to the hotel room going, cheeks stay together. But then all of a sudden it wasn't a joke. And so I broke into a bit of a sprint. And I open the door to the room. I rush in and I do like the quick turn around, pull it down quick and turn and sit.
Oh my God.
But before I can sit, I hear something hit the toilet and I realize it's my wallet with the $150 in it.
Oh no.
So I turn around to grab it, and as I turn, I just spray.
Unloaded.
But like you ever see when they it was like spraying cement, like one of those construction site things. But or actually, as my friend Bosco, who told me this story about the surgeon, he would always say, like mud through a screen door. That was his phrase. But yeah, so it sprayed all over the floor of this like Holiday Inn we were staying in. And so then I turned around to finish, and I had to like move my feet out of the way because the floor is just covered.
Oh, yeah, the floor is destroyed.
And it's a white tile floor. And as I'm finishing, like I hear like housekeeping. Oh, and I'm like, I'm in here, and like, and she doesn't hear me. And the maid comes in the room. Oh my God! I'm just grabbing all the towels I can find, and I'm trying to clean the floor at this point. And they're white towels, and it's just getting in the grout. And I just kind of give up, and I just like,
you're just like
pull out my pants, and I just ran as fast as I could past her and out the door. Because I didn't know what else to do.
Oh my God. Well, you're 13.
I was 13, and I got back to, or 12 or 13. Yeah. And I got back to the pool, and everyone's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine."
No, see here, I didn't shit in the floor. It's like, what?
And I was so afraid to go back. They were like, "Oh, we should go back to the room and change." I was like, "What? We should go somewhere else. We should get ice cream." Like I just did not want to go back to the room because I didn't know.
Let's just not go back to the room ever.
I just thought the police were going to be there waiting.
That's the wrong room.
Oh my God.
For the rest of our lives.
Oh my God. That's
but at least you saved your money.
I did, yeah.
And
I donated that money to the American
Poops Association.
Or did you give a 50 to the housekeeper?
Yeah, I tipped the housekeeper.
I feel like you deserve all of this.
Slide it under the door after you leave.
So I imagine as you're making yourself laugh doing the Cheech Marin voice, but then like when you realize you were having like, did it turn into maybe a British, like Jeremy Irons maybe, or possibly Anthony Hopkins?
I think it was Michael Caine. I think it was
Michael Caine.
Is it kind of like this?
Ellen is showing Craig a picture.
It was very much like that.
Oh yeah. Oh.
In fact, I had friends who told me, what's that, Hall Pass, right?
I think so.
It's the movie Hall Pass.
Yeah.
I had friends that told me, "Oh, you're going to love this movie. You have to see it." And I was like, okay. And I was on a plane and they had it. I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to watch this movie." And I'm watching it and I'm like, "Oh, I hate this movie. This movie sucks. Why am I watching?" And I get to that scene where that woman sneezes and it like hits the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like,
and I was like, my friends do actually know me.
Yeah, they know your brand.
This scene is amazing.
They know your brand.
And I'm like screaming, laughing on the airplane.
Redeemable. That's funny that they played it. Wait, did you download it yourself, or was it an airplane choice of a movie?
No, it was an airplane choice, but it was probably like, it was like
I'm surprised they kept that.
It was like Virgin or something.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm surprised they kept that in there.
Yeah.
They edit the shit out of those things.
Yeah,
well, they left the shit in.
Yeah. It's great. Well,
I didn't get to. I was about to do my Michael Caine impression too, but
please.
Oh, please.
But it's too late now.
Well, I was going to play my mud butt sound effect, but I think that.
Do them all. Come on, people. We can edit this.
All right. Well, this one might not have to put it over the top of that, I think. I don't know if I could slide it in there, but I was thinking of this when you were telling the story.
Mud butt.
From the great Dave Chappelle show. I knew it was the first signs of mud butt.
But that night where everyone was telling these stories at this barbecue, like every story was just better and better, and they were amazing. And then it got to the end of the night where my friend Derek, who had asked everyone, what's the time you shit yourself?
Yeah.
And he tends to do that in social situations. He tends to ask questions because people like talking about themselves. Is a very good social strategy, and he does it, and it's very effective. But when we got to the end and it got to him, he told a story where he said, "Well, actually, the reason I I brought this up was this is after like 2 hours of people telling stories.
He's
I'm
like, I just shit my
crying,
pants.
He was like, last week I was at your place and I left and I realized I had to go to the bathroom, but I didn't want to like buzz and like bug you again. So I had my bike and I'm like, I'll just make it home. And it was a Sunday morning. And
famous last words.
he kept riding home and every place was closed. And he said he made it home and he was locking his bike and his roommate was walking out of the building and was like, hey man, how you doing? He's like, good. And he turned and shit himself. So basically he made all of these people there tell stories about a time where they'd shit themselves to make himself
to
set it up so that he wanted could confess.
Also, he wanted a little confirmation to make sure people were like, okay, cool, I'm not like the only one.
That's right.
Hey, you guys, I got this great story, but wait.
He's like, I'm shitting my
you all
pants.
Humiliate yourselves first.
He would have been great if he just shit his pants while he was telling that story. It's oh my God, what the fuck?
Would have been that's
been
the
epic.
baller way to do it.
I had to poop, but I didn't realize these stories would take 2 hours, so.
We should do an episode. I mean, we do episodes where people talk about their poop stories, but we should do one where we have friends that necessarily don't want to be on the show, and we tried but I'm thinking like just going to their place, recording them just saying it but not mentioning who they are, and we can play them like as a best of back to back kind of thing,
or do reenactments.
One of us
historic reenactments.
Well, we want to do that like cartoon wise.
Yeah.
We would love to get a cartoonist because some of our stories, like even just yours, the urban legend one would be a brilliant cartoon.
Or even your story with the kid story
would be great cartoon. We had a story at last week's episode where this guy was the door guy to a gay club, a gay sex club, and it was piss night, and he did a bump of cocaine outside and it made him have to shit, and he was running through the club trying to get to the bathroom with dicks everywhere,
a gauntlet of penises.
Yeah, and when he finally got to the toilet, it was covered in piss because it was piss night. And he's like, I can't even shit in here, and so he like ran out and was like, I quit, and shit his pants on the way home.
Yeah.
Take this job.
And that wasn't the first time he'd shit his pants while working the door at a club too. So he was like, I gotta make some changes in my life.
It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. Bringing a shit to a night.
There's like so many. We've got a pretty good. I mean, I do a lot of After Effects post production stuff. So if you ever need anybody for your movies, but like I wish I could actually do like actual character driven like animated stuff. It's a little trickier and a certain kind of person that I'm not. But I think we can make that happen.
Yeah, it'd be brilliant.
I think we can really do like a little quick. That'd be a great little short.
Yeah,
like just to submit to something festival. But we've got a lot of good like people telling us stuff that we can make into an animated feature.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you. That was great stories.
Both of them excellent.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think one thing about being in film production is that you travel to a lot of places and you work with a lot of people you don't know very well. Mm-hmm. And I have several friendships that were kind of cemented. Well, that's a strange choice of words in this case. Over like a shared poop experience. Oh yeah, and it's a very strange way to
bonding,
you get close very quickly.
Yeah, you're kind of like, well, we're cool, right? Like, it's my best friend. Oh, you guys, we just met like last week.
Yeah, the episode that dropped today was a story. Our friend was saying she met the friend on this trip. It was like an educational trip to, I think it was Israel. And
they had gone somewhere else. I forgot where. They were to Jordan, I think.
Yeah. And
there were these crazy steps, and then her friend... her
had explosive diarrhea.
She's like, can you go ahead of me? And like was shitting down these steps.
And she was like, that just totally solidified our friendship. We met on this trip, and we both heard and saw each other's shit within a...
And she was also saying that she was... Because like the steps were like, they're well worn, and they're not like even. So she's like, I might die on this staircase. Because she was kind of laughing, but it's also like, oh my God, like what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, it was like at dusk, and she's hearing her friend have explosive diarrhea.
As she's walking down these
and she's like, stairs. I'm going to slip and fall.
In this biblical setting, like this really beautiful... I was just cracking up. And then
the evening light.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
And then her friend was just like... There was like some dudes riding by horseback that were recording it
out of their phones.
Horseback.
Yeah.
I mean, that needs to be a cartoon.
That one is a cartoon. And then she's also mentioning, she's like, also, she's like, her friend was, I mean, she had heard and her friend having a really bad time down those stairs, but she also said that her friend had to like keep putting a flashlight in her butthole because like when they would go to the bathroom out in these like I guess outhouses or whatever, there was like tons of scorpions. So you had to like make sure when you're going to the bathroom or like bending over to pee or something like that, you didn't get stung.
Oh my God.
And she's like, she could do an accurate painting portrait of my butt, and I said I couldn't even do
with
it.
Poop coming out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like just her whole everything, the meat and potatoes, the junk of like everything. Just because like they're just that they met on this trip too, so now they're like lifelong friends.
That's a lifelong friendship.
Yeah.
Which I thought was lovely actually.
We have this existential question of floor versus pants, and it sounds like you kind of were, meaning like if you're a Bristol 7 coming out and there's no toilet in sight, do you shit in your pants or do you find a place to shit somewhere on the ground? And it sounds like in your 13-year-old self, you tried really hard to get to the toilet in time and you shit on the floor and you protected your pants.
Well, my pants were already down in that case, but I think in general I would go floor.
Yeah. It is.
You don't want to shit your pants.
It's
no
the
good
right
outcome.
answer. However, it's like circumstantial.
I mean,
Well, and that's the thing. Yeah, I mean it's a real existential form of helplessness.
Yeah.
And you're at the mercy of yourself in a terrible way.
We always say this because one of our guests that actually had a great shitting pants story in Paris. He was saying that like he's like, I will never shit my pants again, and he's like, I don't care where I am. So we asked him this question, and his whole thing was like, I'm like, okay, well, you're on the subway, you're on the Q train, like you're on the bridge, maybe it's stopped. He's like, I don't care. I'll lift my shirt up over my head and just take a dump.
Because he doesn't want to be recorded. Because if it's a full subway, somebody's gonna pull out their phone and put it on subway creatures.
Oh God.
I would just take it in the pants and be like,
I think on the subway,
I couldn't do it.
Like if you can make it between two parked cars and you're outside, it's one thing. But if you're on the subway,
someone told me, was it you or no? My memory is horrible, but I don't know who told me this story. But they were saying that there's a person on the subway, similar kind of thing. The subway was like either stopped in between stations, and this guy's like walking around pacing. Which could, in a New York City subway, could either be like, I'm going to murder someone, I'm being talked to by demons.
My wife is pregnant and having the baby, and I want to get to my destination.
And or I have to puke or shit. In this particular case, it was shitting. So the guy was like walking around, pacing, being really nervous, and finally just like, I guess, dropped trowel, leaned up against the door, and just let it rip. And I know who told me this.
Not me.
It was
says
Ginger.
right on the thing, do not lean against doors.
Doesn't say anything about shitting, which now I'm going to make a new sticker and put it right over the do not shit on the door. Thank you for that
on
idea.
Door, including one shitting.
I'm gonna get that made. But so I thought that was like, I mean, they chose floor, but I mean,
we had Gal Friday. Gal Friday was one of our guests prior. She just texted us, and I was like, you need to record this as a correspondent. But she came out of the subway and she like saw this woman shitting. And she had no other choice. Like everybody coming off the train had to pass this person. Ugh. And she was like, I couldn't believe I was watching poo coming out of this woman's butthole. And I had no other choice because that was the only way to get out into my destination.
Stink it.
Yeah.
That's why I take 2 Imodium before I get on the subway every time.
Right?
Just in case.
You're like, I never.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like shitting your pants. It's just like, no one's setting out to leave the morning going like, I'm going to shit my pants today. It usually happens spur of the moment. Like, it's just a sickness.
I was taking a spin class last night and I haven't exercised that much recently because of timing. And I, during the spin class was like, oh my God, I totally feel like there's a doo-doo on deck. And I don't have extra clothes with me. I just came to the gym and I'm going to go home after this. Thankfully, nothing happened, but
that is like my worst fear, though. Just like something like in a public setting.
Yeah. Oh, God. Especially like exercising losing. And like any kind of jogging, exercising and small clothing.
Last night, my running group had a marathon, like post-marathon party for people in our group that ran the marathon this year. So I did a run and we ran to this bar in Park Slope and I didn't shit myself, so that's not where this is going. But we got there, and a bunch of people we're doing a podcast later on this month with a bunch of people, not later, I guess later on this month, with some people were doing a whole running episode about like, you know, the bubble guts, like everything, like shitting your pants. And my friend who just ran the marathon, she ran 2 marathons within 3 weeks. She ran the Detroit Marathon and the New York City Marathon.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And so she was like, oh my God, I was thinking about you. She's like, I got this really good shit story. I'm like, here for the podcast. I don't want to hear it. I want to be surprised. Like, so she's so hyped.
Dave and I were actually watching New York City Marathon on Sunday, and I kept turning to him, have you seen anybody shit themselves yet? Have you seen anybody?
Who was that? Was that Greta Weitz when shit herself when she won? Wasn't that?
Oh, that was a while ago.
It was a while.
Yeah.
I remember it was a big deal. It was like, because it was live on TV. And you.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to find that clip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like everywhere.
And it was like before YouTube. Like it was on
the New York Times. It was like it was in the news. It was like every fucking paper.
And it's like, this is her big triumph of her life, and she's got a load.
Yeah,
that everyone can see.
And she's got those like little runner
she's
shirts
like
on,
breaking the tape, and it's just
She does not have this sort of like.
It happened like right as she's crossing the finish line.
She was sick. And I think she.
I'm saying like.
I think she was on her period too, not to get like even more. But I think it was a whole.
Okay, I just did a photo shoot also the other day at basically like a dominatrix house, and as I'm leaving, she had a thing of Depends in the hallway, and I was like, what's going on with these Depends? And she was like, oh, we realized like our infantilizing clients don't like these underwear. They like to bring their own, like they're very particular about their diapers.
Like adult baby thing. Yeah.
And so she's like, we're just going to throw these out. And
These
I was
are
like,
garbage.
And I looked and I was like, you're going to throw out a whole bag of Depends? I'll take them. And so I did. I brought them home.
Are you serious? You and the fucking Depends.
But I don't want to pay money for it. But if I can get them for free and I know where the source is, like I saw a huge garbage bag full of unopened Depends outside, and there was like this moment where I was like, I think I should take that home, and I was like, no.
What do you do with them?
Well, I do want to have a Depends party where like a couple of us just get shit faced, and whoever pees their pants first loses. But also,
I do not want to be. I'm not going to wear those Depends. I'm going to document it. But
you should get the Urban Meadow.
Urban Meadow.
Yeah.
I can't imagine this being good.
But
very absorbent.
I'm going to do ayahuasca in a couple weeks.
Oh yeah,
and I was like, this is a perfect time for me to wear Depends.
Yeah,
because I don't want to shit myself in front of a bunch of people.
Can you take a picture of yourself wearing before you take the ayahuasca, so I can see your outfit?
If you're shattering your basic notions of self and reality, do you really want them to end up in a diaper, or do you want to get them out?
No. Well, I know where I'm going to do the ayahuasca, and it's at this shaman's place, and his place is like half the size of this room, and with one shitter, and he said he could get 10 people in there. So I'm only wearing the Depends because what if the other 9 people are shitting before me? I don't want to shit my pants.
Maybe you should bring enough for everybody.
I'll bring the whole bag with me.
Okay, that's okay. I'm with you on that one. But still, that's a messy situation.
It is a disgusting situation. But I'm trying to be prepared. Like, if you do leave the house thinking you might shit yourself that day, but you have like stuff you have to do.
Do you think it ever happens when you think, oh, today's the day? Isn't it always when you least expect it?
When I go off my run, I'm like, today could be the day I shit my pants.
But
not even
you don't.
I don't. I mean, I've come close, but there's times where I'm like, oh man, like this could be.
No, I've had those days where I was like, I ate something suspect. I can't stop shitting, but I have to leave the house to get stuff done. So I just pop some Pepto. But I like, because Imodium like will screw me up. I'll be constipated for a week if I take even one Imodium. But like, just in case, to know that I have Depends to leave the house
I don't take anything before I leave the house. I'm just like, let it roll, baby.
Well, I wouldn't travel without Imodium. It saved my life so many times.
I just I don't know what it is. I've never had that kind of. Maybe I probably should as a backup.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, like just traveling for work, it happened. Like people get afflicted at different times, and you often get afflicted together because you're eating the same food.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And you know.
But I travel with Pepto. Like I always have Pepto and Aleve in my purse.
But I cannot stand the taste of Pepto so much that I just.
I just get the swallow ones where you don't taste it. But I can't do Imodium. It'll fuck my shit up for days.
Well,
yeah.
And I truly believe if whatever is in your stomach wants out, like let that shit out.
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't be trying to block
work.
it.
I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like you have to get it together to get to the.
Oh yeah, you got.
That's why you've traveled. That's why you're there. you can't just be like, you can't just
Call in
an audible.
sick.
You can't be irresponsible and being like, I'm not taking anything.
Dude, we all flew to this place to shoot this thing. We can't do it because you've got to buck up.
You got to be there. You got to be on point.
But like I'm saying, take the Imodium most definitely.
Yeah.
But what if you're still a little suspect?
You take another one. You take 2 for the first dose.
No, but I'm
And then
saying
do
where the depends.
Where the depends.
Just in
I'm
case.
not doing that. I'm sorry. I'll do the 2 Imodiums or extra.
But I thought it depends
Pepto.
mostly for pee, right? Can they handle a?
I think it's for both.
Full load.
Yeah.
I think it's.
Are they
I mean,
rated for such?
I mean, I don't think you're supposed to
What's the
sit around in it afterwards.
Has it been stress tested to handle like a fucking 7?
I mean,
6?
we're both Howard Stern fans, and Wendy, the slow adult, wears Depends, and I think she duties in her diaper all the time.
I don't know. I don't want to know about any of that. I just don't even.
We're on a podcast. You
We're on a
host a
podcast.
podcast.
I know. I just like it's just something about like the diaper thing. It's fucking.
It was the
We've
infantilization.
we've
that bothers you?
struck a
everything
nerve.
about it. It just fucking. I hate it. Like I don't want to. And I also think about my own
For
mortality. Like I'm like, oh my god. Like that's like getting older.
For our 100th
That's
episode,
what
I'm
I'm
just
really
going to
freaked out
show
about.
up in a diaper for you.
It's just something about like losing control.
Yes.
I think, and it's just the diaper is like the last nail. You're like, well, this is it, man.
That's
You're in the
it.
last fucking.
Yep.
You're in the
all
back
your
nine.
dignity's gone.
Yeah, it's
but-
like I'm wearing a diaper.
I agree with you, but it's inevitable. So why not just like wear the diaper?
Yeah.
But why rush it along? You've got to.
Yeah.
You've got many decades of bowel control ahead of you.
I do, but I'm just saying it's nice to know that I have some free
Well,
diapers in my closet
I'm glad
just
that-
in case
Ellen,
of an
I'm glad
emergency.
deal.
I'm glad that you're going to be testing this out, and then so let's you can kind of describe what's happening and the sensation, and I can be like, okay, at least I know what I'm kind of like in store for.
Yeah.
I
I don't know. I like to be prepared. That's why I carry in a huge purse with way too much shit in it, because I am completely prepared for everything in there.
Nice.
I've got everything from Band-Aids to my travel tushy to Pepto-Bismol.
My wife is like that.
Yeah.
I'm like nothing.
And soon I'll be carrying a diaper in there.
You're just tempting fate.
I know. Now, see, I got to knock on wood because like now it's just like
You're
tomorrow.
cursing
No,
yourself.
that's what I feel like. I feel like I'm not going to take the subway to get home after this.
Yeah. Maybe
Actually,
like,
if you're in Williamsburg, I could drive you. So
Oh, well, perfect.
there you
Yeah.
go.
Can we stop? Do you have the Depends in the car?
yeah.
Oh.
No, I don't.
Is there a
have the
dog
Depends
blanket in the back that
Yeah.
Craig can see just in case? So, well, we know what kind of toilet paper you have since you have this
Yes.
gigantic
Charmin
roll.
Mega Roll.
Yeah.
What well, do you now? This is the question we always ask, but do you like over or under? Like how you hang it? Why is it saying hang it? But
There's only one acceptable answer. It's over. And I grew up in a house. My mother, God rest her soul, she was an underhanger, and she never would acquiesce to the truth. And I would show her, like, if
your
you
mother's
buy
amazing.
if you buy novelty toilet paper, right, where there's printed, Donald Trump's face on a roll of toilet paper,
Yes.
it's set to be overhung. The
Yeah.
joke doesn't work.
Well, that's different. It's being printed on that way. They could have
It's
easily
being printed on that way
way
because there's only one way to
But
hang
you're
toilet
talking.
paper.
I'm
You're
an over.
underslinger?
He's an under.
I mean, well,
Yeah.
see, okay, doing this
But it
podcast
makes-
now, I will say that, like, at this point, I'm kind of don't give a shit anymore. When we first started, I was for sure. I'm like, and then I just get to the point now, like, I just don't care. We did a whole episode about this, by
But
the
even
way.
the physics of it, if you pull the roll in that way, it could keep rolling. Where if you
See,
pull
I find
down that way,
it the other way. If you pull down sometimes a little too much torque, it just keeps going. So I don't know. Plus, there was a whole issue with, like, we had at a time when I really got into like the under, we had kittens, and I was so freaked out they were going to start like playing with the toilet paper.
Oh, well, okay, well, there. So you're.
But then after a while, I just kind of liked aesthetically. I liked the way that it looked, and then I just kind of got into. I mean, again, I really don't care, but it's just funny for the show to like. I'm like, I think maybe 3 people on this entire podcast besides myself have like said they're under.
No, there's been more than that.
No, I don't think so.
If you actually look
Like-
at the Charmin Mega Roll ad,
Uh-huh.
or any toilet paper ad for that matter, it's always over.
If you look at the patent on the guy who designed and made
Crapper.
toilet paper,
Oh no, it's the toilet guy.
it's over.
Over.
So yes, I 100%.
things can be improved. Just because they did it the first time doesn't mean like So is it
we've
going to
had
go back
this
to the first
argument.
kind of toilet they ever had? Like, I mean, yeah, maybe there was a certain way they had it.
I mean, don't get me
drawn up
wrong.
in the
I would
plans.
rather wash with a bidet than just wipe
yes.
dry. So I agree with you. Things always can be improved.
course.
However,
Do you want to drive like an old like 1920 like Model T Ford car with like no fucking
I just
airbag?
love how
Like, I mean, you know, who
Dave
cares?
is like, after 44 episodes, I don't give a shit anymore, but I'm going to stand by my
Well,
conviction.
it's I don't care. Like, I'm in the under, but then I'm sliding into I don't give a shit. I don't care. But it's just
You
funny
do,
to be.
yeah.
So you're getting to be like a 6 on the
Yeah.
whether I care about the over
Yeah, it's like,
under
I don't know,
toilet
I
paper
mean,
scale.
I just don't. But I mean, you know, it's whatever.
We have a new question that we've only asked a couple people because something that was brought to us on the podcast. When you wipe, do you wipe sitting down or standing up?
Well, so my whole life I wiped standing up.
What?
As a kid,
Wow.
As a kid, I would stand.
We've met somebody.
Oh my god,
And,
it's crazy.
I don't remember anyone teaching. Someone must have taught me how to wipe.
So wait,
Yeah.
I need to know, as a kid, you were sitting down, you pooped.
When I was all
and
done,
then you stand up
Work was
to
finished.
wipe.
I'd stand up and I'd wipe.
Wow, we met somebody.
And then I don't remember when this was. I was probably in college and I was dating someone. We were living together.
Oh my god, yes.
And she must have, I don't know, maybe it came up somehow and she's like, wait, you stand, that's insane. And then it was a similar conversation as the over under where I was like, it makes so much sense to stand up. It's easier to, it's a better angle. It's, whatever. And then just pointing out that when you sit down,
It
your
keeps
cheeks
you-
are spread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as soon as you stand,
Right.
You whoopee
you're making a
yourself.
Like
mess.
a door
Yeah.
closing.
So then I started to say,
I'm so happy that you came on this show today because we had a guest 3 episodes ago that he came in like on fire with like
Hot.
He was like, wait, before we start this whole fucking show, he's like, have you guys heard of these people that wipe their ass standing up? Now, granted, you're a kid, whatever, but I mean, this
No, he got into college years.
okay,
so.
still, but
But
this,
no one told me.
This is like an adult. He was having conversations with an adult male that was basically like, "Wait, you wipe sitting? That's weird." Which I was like,
I know somebody who
But now these days, you're a sitter,
Yeah,
or do
totally,
you go
totally.
back to like?
you revisit the
always
past
sitting.
Okay.
It would have to be a
porta potty situation.
perhaps,
Yeah,
or
when you're hovering.
there would have to be special circumstances, extenuating.
Yeah, if you're
circumstances.
already hovering, it's
maybe like
okay.
maybe an airplane toilet that's too
Yeah.
small. I don't know.
I've been there.
You try not to do that on the plane.
Oh no,
crying out
but I
loud.
mean,
I have
it
pooped on a
happens
plane
sometimes.
once in my life, and I was like applauding myself because I feel like once I'm in a plane, like the air, just like the compression of the plane, just keeps the shit up in my body. And even if I have to go, it won't come
I
out
shit in
until
a
we
lot of
land.
planes. I feel like
Oh my god, you're so lucky.
A
I wouldn't say lucky.
No,
It's not like
because I've
my-
sat on a 13-hour flight, and I'm like, fuck, I just want this shit out of me, and it won't. No.
I used to travel a lot for my old job, and that was still kind of a period where I just didn't like going to public places. And I mean, this is like I used to fly so much. I was in business class like all the time. Even that bathroom, I'm like, I can't do this.
You especially don't want to do it there.
Oh,
Because
yeah, 'cause
everybody's
everybody knows.
like professional travelers,
Yeah.
and they're like, we
This
don't do that. It's
motherfucker.
like pooping on a tour bus.
Yes,
it's
you just don't do it.
You don't do it.
But I remember like we were coming back from, it might have been either Australia or no, it was New Zealand. First time I went to New Zealand, flying back, and then I would just sit there and like be miserable with my stomach just going nuts. I'm like, I can't go in there, and I'd wait. That's a long flight. It's like a 16-hour flight. But at this particular trip, I was like, fuck it, man. I just got to do it. And now I'm just kind of like, whatever. I just like build I just put like a big like nice little like
Yeah, you build the nest.
the little
Build a
seats,
nest.
and they usually have like the good
Seat covers.
seat
Yeah.
covers, so it's not so bad.
Well, here's the question: seat cover, the flap. Do you put it in the front or the back?
I rip it off and use it as the splash guard.
So, because I thought if you left it in the back, it's automatically a splash guard, right? Isn't that what it's there for?
It kind of dangles too much.
I
for
rip
me.
it off all the time because my fear was always just like somehow
The auto flush.
The water's gonna climb up.
There's some kind of like weird backsplash thing. I just thought like there was gonna be some kind of, or it's gonna flap back in my ass. I don't know. I always rip it out and throw it right into the
Yeah,
toilet.
I don't know the proper
rip-
etiquette for it. I'm
I just
genuinely
figured-
wondering.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I tear it off and I'm like, what's this? And I just throw it in the middle of the toilet and that's it.
Yeah, you want to rip it off and then lay it nicely on the top of the water so that when your poo lands in the water, it doesn't splash up and you
like
get
a
Poseidon's
frog
kiss.
on a lily pad.
I just don't-
Exactly.
I just never have that kind of
cradles
time.
it.
I never have that kind of time to do
It
that.
takes me 2 seconds.
I
It's
just
so
once
fast.
you commit,
I
you're
tear it
going-
off like a Wolverine, crumple it and throw it into the fucking toilet, and I do my business.
You just don't. The crumpling is taking more
Wait, why are
time
you
than
crumpling?
sticking it.
I don't know, just rip it up like rip, crumple, drop.
No, trust me. Rip, place is. There's one more step with rip, crumple,
Right,
place.
you're adding
just-
time.
Yeah.
I mean,
Old Rip Van Crumple here.
I'm just telling you, splash guard is the way to
I
go
don't
in
want
a
it anywhere
public.
near like I just if in case of emergency, like where I'm just like I have no time, I just do the little front part and let it flap. Every once, occasionally, I'll let that happen, but very rarely.
Yeah.
I just like
I think people
tear it off.
mostly do the front. I feel like because the way you pull it down, it almost looks like it's supposed to
But the-
go over the front.
But usually when
But
you pull
you-
it out of the thing, the back part's kind of like flat.
yeah.
Where the front part kind of has the same shape as the actual
The bowl.
So that's why
Where
I
there's
think
the break in the seat.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think really the middle part flap goes towards the back, like it sort of flaps down towards the back. But that's just me. I mean, I don't even use it, so I don't. Who cares?
What about you?
I think I'd usually do it in the back because I think it's a splash guard. But if the water level seems high, I might put it in the front as like a
Yeah,
Ball
peanut
protector?
peanut
Yeah.
protection of
Yeah.
some kind. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, because I mean, I'm thankful I don't have balls and a
sucks.
penis, but I've heard those horror stories.
It's really stupid that they're on the outside.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, but I've heard horror stories where it hits any public bathroom and
Yeah.
you're just like, I have a
You
new
wanna kill-
STI.
I just remember, like, I
invented.
have to go to the doctor right fucking now.
Yeah.
because it is just. Oh, sorry.
This is some fucked up repugnant shit.
Ooh. I have to tinkle talking
Okay.
about all this toilet
Sure.
stuff.
So Ellen is back from her pee break.
No, but it wasn't just a pee
Oh,
break.
you
I
took-
squeezed out some
How the
turds
fuck did
in
you go
there.
that
Number
fast?
one.
Yeah, there was someone.
You go for like 3 minutes. How did you do that?
It was ready.
Oh my
The
god.
pee I was holding for a long time, but I didn't think I had to duty when I was in there. But the minute he started coming out, like little rabbit pellets were coming out right after.
Oh,
I made probably like a good 6 rabbit pellets
I've never
in
had
there.
those little things.
Oh, it's the worst. Trust
frustrating,
me. I
is it?
eat so healthy.
Yeah.
I take all the like fiber supplements and I take all this probiotic stuff and yeah, I'm so disappointed. Especially like I filled up the toilet today with Bristol 6 and now I'm back down to a Bristol 1. Like
Oh.
what the fuck is wrong with my stomach? And I eat great. I eat like I have
I think
a
you just gotta stop asking.
CSA.
It's supposed to let it happen. Just stop.
It obviously is just happening. It's
I mean,
good.
it's always happening. I'd be like, just let it. You're like, why even
No,
question
but I
anymore?
have a lot to report.
You do. Well, that's good for the show.
It is.
But I stopped getting all like philosophical about it. I'm like, oh, okay, today's loose. Tomorrow's gonna be solid. I hope.
But my bowels are on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
It's never, and then sometimes I make these glorious number 4s that are like 14 inches long that fall out of me.
And I'm like, she's like, I'm like, how are you doing? What is happening?
I know, it's insane. It's insane. Or like last night and the night before, or like right before bed, I was like, ooh, I gotta poop. Like I'm not just a morning pooper, I'm like a before bed pooper.
Yeah.
Like it, and then there's some days where I like shit 3 times a day, and some days where I'll barely shit once, and it makes no sense. It makes 0 sense. My
Yeah.
stomach is
Well,
all over the place.
You know, it's the age-old question: why am I shitting like this?
Why am I?
So when you're in the bathroom, Craig was saying he's got more stories.
Oh please! Oh my God! Please!
Well, two came to mind. One was I was working on a project once, and the director of this film, his mother was coming to visit from, I forget where, somewhere in the Midwest. She'd never been to New York before. And they sent someone to pick her up at, I think it was Grand Central, which makes no sense because how do you get from the Midwest to Grand Central? But
she's a Port Authority.
it
Oh my
was,
God,
maybe
this
it was
buzz for like
Port Authority
3
or
days.
Penn Station makes more sense. And when she got to the office, she was like really shell shocked. And everyone's like, "What's wrong?" She said, "Oh, well, you know, I got off the train and I went outside to wait for the fella to come get me, and I saw a bum on the street, And I'm saying, oh yeah, it's a problem. You know, homelessness is a real problem. You know, sorry, but you see that a lot here. And she's like, well, he pulled his pants down. And I was like, well, yeah, you know, sometimes people, they have nowhere to live, and they just, and then he went poo right on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And I said, well, yeah, you know, you see that a lot. You know, this happens. And she said, and then he reached into the garbage and he pulled out a pizza slice. And he wiped his tush with the pizza slice. And that's when I was like, oh, well, yeah, you don't see that.
You're like, holy shit, I've never seen that one before. That's brand new for me.
And I asked her if it was cheese side up or down, and then the guy was like, I'm taking my mom out of here. She's not talking.
Oh my God.
No, I need to know the answer.
I never got an answer.
This woman hit the fucking jackpot
She did,
in
right
New
out
York
the
City
gate.
story, right out the fucking gate. My God.
Probably like a big slice of Sbarro. Like
I've never
tourist
seen.
pizza.
I want to see someone wipe their ass with pizza just for a second.
Yeah, because I want to know which side they use.
Well, I don't. I just want to know. Like, I just want to be like, check, saw that.
I don't
but
even
you've
like to see
seen
pineapple on
pizza.
pizza. So.
Yeah,
You've seen Pizza Rat. You've never seen
pizza shat.
Pizza Shat.
That is
Oh my
crazy.
God. Oh my God. We have to.
When you eat pizza, do you fold it over or under? But
I
yeah,
use
no,
a
that
knife
was-
and fork. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my
Joking.
God.
That is
But
hilarious.
yeah, I'm dying to know. I mean, I hope
Yeah, I
it
have
was.
no idea.
I hope it was.
She's gonna be.
cross-side.
You know, she's telling that
I hope it
story.
was cross-side.
Yeah, 'cause
what's
like-
the point?
That story's
Oh,
been told
greasy
so many
cheese.
times now. She's at home back. You would not believe. It
It's
is
a filthy
disgusting
city.
there. Yeah.
No, but
oh my God.
And they say the pizza's so good, but if it's so good, why are they wiping their
Yeah.
asses with it?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Like, was it a full slice?
It
Was
had to
it
be a
just
full
like
slice.
the crust?
Or what?
Was it?
Was it Sicilian? You know, was it
Yeah.
grandma slice? That'd be weird.
Deep
or like-
dish. In New York City, someone's like, they just threw it. Like, this is garbage. Threw it out. They're like,
No, but like I want to also know like how old was the slice? The fact that it was like
was at the
towards
top of the garbage can.
It had to
so
be
it couldn't have
fresh.
been that old. So like the cheese was probably still melty versus like
No,
a
I
slice that's been in the refrigerator. The cheese is more
I
solid.
bet you someone got it from like one of those 99-cent stores, like, you know, pizza or something
yeah.
like that. They probably either couldn't finish it or they're too full. They're like, oh, it's
Or
disgusting.
they dropped on the ground and
yeah,
threw it away.
just chucked it. There's probably like one. I bet you there was like a bite mark out of it, but I bet you most of the structure of that pizza was still intact.
Well, not while
Well,
he was wiping. Whoa!
Yeah.
I
I mean, is that like? And is that some kind of like homeless hack? Like pizza's like
It's a life.
it's
Yeah,
like,
I don't know. Well, I guess but also you would imagine that there's paper in the garbage can that would be more.
like
He probably,
newspaper or whatever.
I'm just gonna guess he went. I'm gonna say actually at first I was gonna say cheese, but I bet you he went the crust side.
It should be crust
Because
first.
crust side's probably like less grease, probably a little more absorbent.
But yeah, you'd rather have
And
cheese and
it's-
sauce on your hand
yeah,
than
then fucking
than
Shit.
the alternative.
Yeah. So I'm guessing that I'm thinking he went with crust side.
Well, I guess there is less paper getting thrown away now because now that there are no more newspapers, really, like there's less paper to use if you're wiping from a public garbage
Or
can,
was
or if
the
you're
pizza-
a spy hiding behind a newspaper.
Or was the pizza
you know.
still like in that wax paper? Like maybe they put a little wax paper thing and like he used that with the slice.
So many questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like a detective.
That is
Like-
fantastic. Like your story, we're like, okay, yeah, New York, we've all seen it.
You're
Yeah, it was like,
well,
oh yeah,
that's gonna happen.
yeah. You
Yeah.
ring her,
That's gonna
yeah.
happen.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
she's like, and then he took out the slice. I thought he was going to eat the pizza. I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
Ooh,
sure.
that
See
would have been. Ugh.
No. When she said he took pizza from the garbage
Oh.
can, I thought, oh, yeah. Well, you eat
took
food
a
where you
shit,
find
he's
it, whatever.
hungry.
And then he wiped his tush with. Oh,
He went
didn't see
next
that
level.
coming.
He went next level.
Didn't see that coming.
She gets a. That is a great New York City moment right there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is so great. Craig, come on with the great stories, man. You're hit after
Oh, I've
hit.
got tons. So many poop stories.
Yeah, hit us with another one.
Look, yeah. Don't stop sharing.
I was working on a shoot one time with somebody that I'd never met. We were actually location scouting, and this guy was coming from San Diego, and I was coming from New York, and we met in Greenville, South Carolina, where
Okay.
neither one of us had ever been, and we'd never met each other.
Okay.
And he's like I guess I could say his name. Yeah, his name's Radley.
Okay.
He's a lovely fellow, and he's a drone.
Boo Radley? No.
He's got a drone company, and we were doing this job where we were flying drones through this industrial facility and filming it.
Oh, cool.
And so we met in this hotel, and we'd never met before, and we went out to dinner together, and then we ended up having a really fun night. We went for dinner, and then we went for drinks, and we had a great night. But we had a little too good of a night. And we had made plans to go to the Waffle House the next day because he'd never been to a Waffle House. And I was like, we're in the South. We have to go to the Waffle House. It's the best thing.
Bad things happen at the Waffle House.
So we probably got, we probably got back to the hotel or, I don't know, 4. And then we had to be out, or maybe 2. Probably don't stay open that late there, right? But we had to be up at 5 to be at this place at 7.
Oh shit! Okay.
So we got up early and we went to the Waffle House and we were, we'd had a big night. We were pretty rough, and we're ordering the hash browns at Waffle House that have all these options. It has like, you can get them like scatter, which means they chop them up with onions.
Oh,
and
right,
then,
right,
smothered has cheese, and then scrambled. I forget all the different options.
Yeah.
But he got all of it, the works, which also includes chili. And I was like, you probably don't want to do that.
Waffle House chili.
You're like, act like you've been here before, man. Maybe you haven't, but I mean, Jesus.
But we eat the breakfast, and we were in such bad shape. I remember we were paying, and the woman's like, "I got you boys 2 Coca-Colas to go because you look like you could use them." We were in bad shape, and we get to this place. I don't want to say the name of the company, but it's a huge, giant industrial company, and there was this facility where they make parts of power plants. So it's this huge stuff, and it's summer in the South. It's like high 90s,
balls hot.
like so humid, and we're both feeling pretty rough. And we get there, and they check every piece of equipment you bring in, and they inventory it, and they make sure you leave with the exact same amount of stuff, so that you're not some kind of corporate spy or something.
Oh wow!
So camera gear, all the drone parts. And while we're kind of waiting in the security area, we're both a little fidgety, but we don't know each other that well. We've just met the day before. So we're not really talking about our
Insides.
personal problems to each other yet. And right after they pass us through security, they're like, okay, you guys can go inside. We're both at the same time, like in stereo, without rehearsing. We're both like, do you guys have a bathroom? In the most polite, like nervous voice. They're like, yes, it's down that hall. You get to the end, you make a right, and then you're going to see a red door. Make a left there. You go down the other hall, and then it was like this 20-minute description.
Oh my God.
So we both we're like calmly walking, and then we kind of look at each other, and we break into a sprint, and we're rushing for the bathroom, and we get in there, and it's there are multiple stalls. It wasn't like 2 toilets next to each other, but we're seated in 2 stalls next to each other. And it's a lot.
Oh my God.
It was a lot. It was like kind where you're like holding onto the walls of the stall while you're.
Oh shit.
And it's really loud. There's a lot of splashing. There's a lot of fireworks going on.
And you just met this guy.
We don't know each other very well, but now we're both like laughing hysterically because we're right next to. There's only this like piece of metal separating us. So we both kind of finish around the same time, and we walk out like in the mirror washing hands, and you look up and make eye contact in the mirror, and he said to me, "We never speak of this moment." Which of course we've spoken about, Timmy. But now we're very close ever since.
That's awesome.
We're bonded for life.
Yeah.
Trial by fire. It's like being in the I was never served in the military.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
fought in a
you
war,
guys
but
are
it must
gonna-
be like,
Yeah, but in the military or Navy,
You guys are in a foxhole
there's
together.
no divider.
no divider.
Yeah, you're literally shitting.
Yeah.
You guys
Like
went to
you're
war
painting.
together.
We did.
Yeah.
You okay? Everything all right in there?
When I was
That's what I imagined kind of what some of that was going on there.
I went to the School of Visual Arts for photography.
Oh, I went there too.
And the photography cage had these guys running it, and there was like these guys that would do late night till like 4 a.m. So because sometimes that was the only time you could get your photography homework done. And there was these 2 guys that were best friends, and they would tell me that they would shit together and call it stereo shits because they would be sitting next to each other in 2 different stalls, but it sounded like stereo, like
But by choice?
Coming out of speaker
Yeah,
A
I'm not-
and B.
No. I've got some really good close friends. That's something I'd never even thought about.
Not by choice.
I'm like, not by choice. I'm like, hey,
There's
man,
been
what
a
are you
lot
doing?
of tandem shitting.
Yeah.
There's kind of a tandem shitting theme.
Yeah, kind of. That's the theme.
Should we start
We
going
should probably
into
start with
our
some other segments.
Unless you have something else to bring to us?
I mean, I can tell shitting stories.
Well, we
all day,
can
but
always have you back on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
then-
part number 2.
We can also take calls now, which is great.
or do
Whoa.
a field trip
Well, we can
up
call
to
that guy.
Oh my god.
Oh my God, yes.
That's a great idea, actually. We have to hit you back about that.
We could do a field trip to that hot dog place.
Oh my god. We'll call Craig. I'm like, okay, we're in the stall right now. You're like, why are you calling me? No reason. Just figured, just because. So this next segment is called Let's Get Shitty, and this is a segment where we complain about things, and it can be anything, and it doesn't have to be poop related. So, I mean, obviously, what's going on in politics around the world, those are kind of like everybody knows that's shit. But it could be something personal, it could be something just you saw today, over the week. It doesn't matter. But we have to talk about getting shitty.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna play this little intro, and then we'll get into it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for Let's Get Shitty!
Yes, the fun segment. Actually, the whole show I always have fun, but this one's a good one.
This is your favorite because you love to vent.
I have to complain about everything. I mean, just the stupidest things too. My wife's like, "Oh my god, here we go again."
I got 2 of them.
Well, do you want to go first, or should we have our guest go first?
It doesn't matter. I'm just saying.
We'll do ladies first.
I'm a 2 for today.
Okay.
One is short and one is long. One is my Let's Get Shitty is myself.
Okay.
I was just picking up lunch at Dig In, and I love using the toilet there because they have great facilities. I didn't shit there. I just had to pee.
Ellen shits everywhere.
But
Targets, fucking Home Depot.
Chain stores, I'm like, if it's a chain store, I've shit in it.
Is Builder Square still around?
Yeah.
It's like
Trader Joe's.
Trader
I pooped
Joe's.
at Trader Joe's. But so I go into Dig In and beeline to the bathroom, and Dig In's bathrooms are really fucking nice. Like if you do have to go potty in New York City, like just Google a Dig In and it's a dig out right there.
Yes.
But anyway, so I'm peeing, and I look at the toilet paper roll, and it's empty. It's just the cardboard. But I have the container, this really nice like stainless steel container full of fresh rolls, and I pull a fresh roll out, and I take off the paper, throw it away, and I go to change the roll like a good person should, because changing the toilet paper roll takes 2 seconds. But the thing was like kind of industrial, and I think you needed like something to unscrew it with.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I was just like, I'm gonna be that asshole who puts the fresh roll on top of.
I mean,
That's not so bad.
that's
No,
yeah,
but I was mad at myself for doing it, because I was like, that's a terrible person. I hate people who do that.
You had different kind of circumstance there. You had to like open it with a key. So I would say that was not really.
But maybe if I like spent more
That's
time,
really-
but then I was like, this isn't
more
my
time.
job.
That's the system.
Yeah, man.
That's society. That's
keeping
not
you down.
Yeah. So I guess it wasn't that big. I'm more mad at myself for not like investing the time or
Could you
telling somebody.
Can I speak to your manager, please? I'm just imagining. Oh my god, if I was like worked at Dig In and someone says like, hey, you guys should really. I would be like, are you out of your mind? Like, who is this crazy person?
Call a locksmith from the bathroom.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are excellent bathrooms. Sweet Green, Dig In. Those are chain places
Cool.
that keep their bathrooms real clean. But my official Let's Get Shitty, and I text Dave about this. I was on the subway coming back from the city on the L train on Sunday. Thankfully, I was at First Avenue, and I was like, okay, I'll probably get off at like Graham to walk home. And on the weekends, the L train, as you know, comes like maybe one every 45 minutes because they have selective service because they're doing construction. So I'm standing there on the platform. The train comes in the opposite direction because it's only on one side, and then it comes back, and car after car as it's whizzing by is full, packed, full, and there's so many people on the platform, and I was like, yeah, this is going to be a hard one to get on. So all of a sudden, the car that stops in front of me is like empty, and you just know.
Oh, that's yeah.
You're like, uh-oh, what's wrong with this one? And I get in because I'm like, you know what? I don't want to wait. Yeah. I like L train on the weekend. I'm not going to wait
Sometimes
another
you gotta
45
say, fuck
minutes.
it.
Yeah. So, and I had to actually, I was going from one job to another job. So I was like, I got to do it. Get into the train, and there's a homeless guy right next to me that smells. But he's also had a suitcase that he was literally ripping apart like a wild animal, and there were food, and he was like flinging stuff. Thankfully, none of it was poo. But flinging stuff around, and everybody's just sitting as far away from as possible. And some people I look at before the doors close, and they have like their t-shirt or something over their nose because it smells. But the ride from First Avenue to Bedford is like a good 3 to 5 minutes because you're under the tunnel. That smell got worse. As like his smell was bad, and it was one of those smells like some smells just fade, and this smell
you
got
get used to it.
Yeah, the smell got worse and worse, and I ended up taking my shirt over my nose, and I was like, I can't get off at Graham. I'm gonna have to get off at Bedford and walk because this is the worst smell of my life. I and to the point where I was like, my hair and my clothes I know are gonna smell like this. Like it's that kind of smell, and like I get off, and the platform at Bedford had so many people on it, and I just looked at them, and they were all going to walk on, and I was like, you are not gonna like this.
Something stinks.
Yeah. Woo. But I mean, the let's get shitty. Yes, that homeless guy. I'm more angry at our society for not taking. He obviously had mental problems, and our society does
clearly
nothing to help people.
You'll have some asshole be like, just get a job. I'm like, oh yeah, that guy's gonna work at fucking like Fidelity or Fidelity Investments. Like, yeah, he's not fucking
Goldman Sachs.
He's not doing a 9-to-5. Okay.
He was one of those homeless guys who had no shoes on.
Yeah.
And the suitcase he had, you would think maybe had stuff. No, I think he just found the suitcase on the street, and he wanted to keep it for some reason, and he was literally taking it apart. Like, yeah, he had serious mental illness, and so
he should be on medication. He should be like in a facility. Like people should be looking after him.
Yes.
I mean, it's not like That sucks.
So the smell was terrible, but my let's get shitty is more about like mental health, and it's fucked up. So yeah, the smell was bad though. Really, I mean, next level.
Oof, that sucks.
Did you have to wash your clothes out? I mean, was it like one of those?
Thankfully, I was like, I was walking. Because I was like, as I live in Greenpoint, so it's like a good mile from Bedford, and the whole time
fresh
walking,
air just kind of like clear.
Yeah, I was like,
there's no way. I would have easily put those. I would have put those in a regular like bodega bag, like plastic bag, and then tied that up and put that in my laundry for the next wash. Mm-hmm. There's no way I could be comfortable and taking a shower because I would have been like this. It's permeated every fiber, every pore.
But it's one of those smells that like doesn't smell like anything else. It's because it smells like everything combined, and it's just the worst smell. Like it's like human poo, body odor, but then also just like
cheese.
Yeah. Like
every person in this country should have to like they do in Switzerland, where everybody's got to do some kind of like military, or in Israel like military service. Everyone that lives in this country should live in a major metropolitan city, specifically New York, to experience that, because that's fucking wild, man. You have to like day in, day out, you're like, please don't let someone, I mean, that's running through your head like, oh my God, this homeless person's down there. Please don't let them shit. Please don't come near me. And like you feel for that person, but you're like, oh my God, dude, I don't want nothing to do with you either.
Yeah, and I was on one side of the subway car. There was maybe like 6 brave souls, me and 5 other, who had and he was on a bench by himself. And then there was everybody else was squished to the other side because they wanted to be as far away from him as possible. Yeah. And I was just like, I don't even want to walk past him. I'm just going to stay on this side where the doors are. But yeah, no, I think everybody should experience that just to know what.
Yeah, because you have these assholes that live out in the middle of fucking like Iowa or whatever,
who don't believe in universal.
None of your listeners.
None of our listeners. But I mean, like, it's just bullshit.
But they don't believe in universal health care or taking care of these people.
But it does. I think it increases empathy when you
completely.
Yeah, and when you don't see it, you just think.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like to think that like no one wants to be around someone like that. But at the same time, like I can empathize with this person. This is not cool. This person shouldn't be out and about like this.
They should.
Like, if you're getting to the point where you smell that bad and you're ripping shit out of a suitcase, things are not going well.
No.
It's not like you can be like, man, if I could just get that job at McDonald's, or if I just had that resume.
Or their parents take care of them, or their family take care of them. It's like, that's next level.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry.
And probably if he is on medication like schizophrenia medicine, he probably could not live a normal life, but be, not ripping stuff out
in
of a
Germany,
suitcase.
I think, or somewhere in Europe, maybe it's a couple places. Like they have like systems in place where people come, like caretakers come to, like, so people, you have a mental issue like that, they come to your house, make sure you're taking your fucking medication, and you're not just out there like wilding out.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, that's what happens.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm sorry that sucks, but the smell must have been. Woof.
Oh, it was next level.
Yeah,
Oh.
but when you see that ghost car on a crowded
yeah.
train,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, look, sometimes you want to get
It's like
home, you'd be like, fuck it. How far is this ride really?
Yeah.
But I mean,
How long
that's
is 3 minutes really?
That's one of the longest uninterrupted stretches of subway. That's
Yeah.
why people do Showtime on that.
Yeah,
train, because
exactly.
Yeah.
you have enough time to do a whole dance number.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, that's
It's with intermission.
But I was like, also like, thank God
And
I
a
got on at
fundraiser at the
First
end.
Avenue. I was like, what if you're on 8th Avenue all the way? Because that guy's riding the train back and forth.
Yes.
Oh, that's his
He's
home.
not, yeah.
Well, until the next.
Until
train.
somebody
Yeah,
comes
kicks
on
him
and
off.
takes him off.
Oh my
But yeah.
god. Oh,
Ooh.
Craig, do you get anything? And don't feel pressured, by the way. If you
it's
have
fun.
nothing,
And,
that's fine.
maybe because I've been doing some spiritual work, I'm not so ready to complain about others.
That's fine.
But
that's totally fine.
You don't have to complain
No, I
about
feel like I
others.
complain all the time. That's all I do. Now I'm wondering why. I have to say, my biggest complaint, though, in general, is when people don't walk to the right.
Oh yeah, that's
How people walk to their left, and then they walk right up to you like you're going in the wrong direction, or you're on the wrong, or the wrong staircase in the subway.
Well,
They
maybe
don't go to the right.
Maybe that's why that guy was ripping out that suitcase, because
He'd had it.
He's
had
like,
enough.
I can't take this shit anymore. It's
Yeah.
just like, and that was like his breaking point.
That's literally, I have a let's get shitty list of things to complain about forever. So like there's priority stories, and then there's stories of like I have stuff like, oh, I'll complain about that if I don't have anything in weeks to come. And that's literally one of my things.
No, it's a constant source of irritation.
It's also people who walk 2x2 on sidewalks,
yeah.
and they won't go into single file to let you through. And
And they're looking at you like, what? I'm like,
and
are
I'll
you
walk
serious?
past them fast, and they'll be like, excuse you. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? The sidewalk is only so wide, you piece of
I mean,
shit.
there are really a few social codes that if you live by them, it's just a hard place to live no matter what.
Yeah.
But it's like when people used to take cabs before they were hailing, before they were ride sharing. When someone would steal your cab, you knew they were stealing your. Like, it's one of those things that's just unforgivable.
Yeah.
The society cannot function if people are going to walk to the left.
It's like George
and steal
Costanza
cabs.
said. George Costanza once said, "We're living in a society here, people," and it's just like everything's just breaking down.
Yeah.
But I think, but a bathroom related one is when people, it's usually more of a pee thing, when they piss all over the place and you go in. I often will clean it up.
I mean,
and I don't know I don't think it's to be nice to the next person. I think it's more of a self.
For you, yeah.
It's more of an ego thing of like, I don't want to be blamed.
Yeah.
Also, if that makes you more comfortable. Also, as far as like making your pee experience or whatever bathroom experience better.
Well, it's better for that, but I'm not doing what you were doing, where you're like, oh, I want to leave the toilet paper roll in the right place to help the next person. It's less that and more, I don't want to get blamed for it.
Yeah. I have a little bit of that, but sometimes like that you're digging TP thing, I would have been like, well, this is fuck it. I have zero. When I go into public spaces, I mean, I try to be as respectful as possible, but like, if the animal before me did something, I'm like, that's not my job. I'm sorry.
We've talked about the Japanese way. Japanese people, like more, especially in major cities, more people should be living that way, where you clean up after yourself, you clean up after others.
In fairness, their toilets are half robot.
Yeah.
And they clean themselves.
Yes.
And you.
Yeah.
But
which I love. And I wish there were more of those.
I could imagine living in a society like in their subway systems in Japan, they don't have garbage cans.
Nope.
No.
I'm like, could you imagine that in New York City? There'd be, I would, if that happened, I would be like, okay, body snatchers are real. These things have taken over because there is no fucking way in New York City not having a garbage can. It'd be like chaos.
And the trains are so they run on time so frequently. It's so rare that they're late.
Yeah.
That if a train's late, they have pre-printed letters that they hand you. So you can show your boss that the reason you're late for work is that the train didn't show up on time, because it's always on time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
you can also
Efficiency.
walk up to a cop when you're drunk and you don't have money to get home and borrow money from them, and they just give it to you because they think you'll come find me tomorrow and pay me back. I don't even have to.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's a much better system.
Yeah.
Well, My Let's Get Shitty is so I'm doing Noom right now, so I'm losing a little bit of weight, and
You're losing a lot of weight.
Well, we have this old regular kind of manual scale. I'm weighing myself, and at one point I'm like, did this thing say I went back up 10 pounds? Like this morning, I'm like, what the? I almost had a heart attack. I don't think it's. I think the scale is fucked up. But basically, for the first half an hour of my morning, I've been walking around going like, what's the point of all this? I'm like, are you fucking serious right now? I mean, and it's not even like, I don't even care about the weight loss. It's more like, it's like this weird emotional roller coaster you're going on. I'm like, just fuck. So, I talked myself off the ledge. I was like, whatever, just go about your day as usual. Make sure you're getting your whatever calories that you're getting in each day. And, but I mean, this morning I was like, I just couldn't believe it. I was like, I wanted to throw the fucking scale out the window. Because part of this Noom thing is you get to weigh yourself every single day. Yeah. Which I'm so used to at this point that doesn't really faze me. But I'm like, 10 pounds. How did I gain 10 pounds in 2 days?
Was it water weight?
I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe. But I mean.
Have you see where you put the scale down? Yeah. Because like sometimes if maybe
it's between tiles or something.
Yeah.
Well, we have wooden floors, but maybe it's, I don't know. And it's been the same it's been the same area.
Because my boyfriend, he did that on our scale. He was like, "Oh my god, I just lost so much weight. You have to check this out." And I came into the bathroom, and the scale underneath the scale was his underwear. Because he just got out of the shower, and I was like, "Honey," and I pulled his underwear out.
Like, no,
and it went back to normal, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't lose 10 pounds overnight." And I was like, yeah. It wasn't leveled, weirdo.
I don't know. So I just was like, I mean, the whole weight loss thing in general is just so like, it's just I mean, it's not like I'm even like, I mean, I thought I was fine before. I'm just like, I'm just doing this for myself. Yeah. But like, just the idea, like, then you're like, okay, now I'm actually doing this weight loss thing, and I'm trying to stick to it. I'm being pretty good about it. But like when I saw that number, I just the blind rage that went into my head. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And I'm like, now I'm upset about the stupid scale and weight loss. I'm like, what the fuck? There's so many. It just spiraled out of control. And then I was like, you know what? You got stuff to do today. Just fucking get over it. And that was it. But this morning for that first like half hour.
Oh, I know that. Well, I've been trying to do those weight loss apps because I would like to lose a little or not. Yeah, just fit in my clothes better. And every day I like go to start putting stuff in, and then by the middle of the day I'm like, fuck it, I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat whatever the hell I want. No. And I don't, and I'm like sabotaging myself.
There's a couple days where I did that. Like around my birthday, I'm like after lunch, I had a nice run in the morning. I had, pretty healthy until after lunch, and then we went to this party. I was like, I'm not putting anything in after this because what's the fucking point? Your birthday. It was like open bar. I'm like, first my friend who is the wonderful, I love her so much. She had this crazy costume party, and then I'm like, I'm ready to pay this woman like whatever for my drinks from me and my wife, and she's like, oh, it's open bar, and my jaw I'm like, what? which is dangerous. And then so the night just got like pretty out of control pretty quickly. Yeah. But anyway, that was my Let's Get Shitty. Oh. So. We're going to flush those problems away.
Don't you feel better?
I do. I feel much better.
Yeah. Yes. I feel lighter. I feel emotionally.
Do you stand up before you flush? Like, do you look?
Oh sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's times where like, if it's like I know it's a bad one coming out, I just I just flush. I don't even see it. I don't even want to fucking see that. So most of the time I do that. Aren't you
afraid of splashback if you're sitting and flush?
Well, she talks about the Poseidon kiss.
The Poseidon kiss, I like that.
But I've rarely gotten that. I don't have these giant fucking like. I don't have these giant battleships that Ellen's producing. So mine, I rarely get a splashback. I mean, occasionally I might, but. No, I mean, there's just times where I'm in the bathroom, I'm like, I don't even want to look at this because it's just bad. So I flush.
Oh, I always want to know what came out of me.
I don't want to know.
Because I'm always so surprised.
No, I don't want to know.
Sometimes I'm proud.
I'm proud. I'm surprised. Like sometimes when I make Bristol 4s that are 14 inches long, I feel like I feel like it's only like 3 inches because it falls out of me so quickly. And then I look at it and I'm like, I just made that.
So you're a shipbuilder.
Yes.
Yeah. I understand the irony and the fact that I have a podcast about poops and farts. So what I'm going to say, I get but I mean, normally when I go to the bathroom, I'm just kind of like, I don't want to know what I just did. I just don't want to know.
You don't need to.
So I just kind of like,
You want to know what everyone else is up to.
and like also my wife will just walk into the bathroom while I'm, so I'm like, oh my God. She's like, oh my God, it stinks in here. I'm like, yeah, I'm taking a shit. That's I'm like, she's like, oh my God. So come in there and grab the spray she makes and start spraying it over. I'm like, are you out of here? Like, what is going on with you? I'm just so used to it now. So I just like, instantly just courtesy flush. If I'm home by myself, I just do that too. So, but yeah.
No, not me. I want to see my glory.
The horror. The horror.
There's few things I make every day. My shit is one of those things that I'm very proud of.
Yeah, shit and dinner. That's about it.
There's very few things I'm proud of, but the shitting is not one of them. So we're gonna get some news real quick, and here we go. Yes, the news. So this is an older story brought to me by my co-host Ellen.
Oh,
It was from November 22nd, 2017, and then updated around 3 hours later. So I don't know what happened in this story, but anyway, this comes from us. I watched the audio part of this, or the video. This is from Bakersfield, California. And plumbers see huge spike in let me start that again. Plumbers see huge spike in calls to unclog toilets because of Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
Which, I think we all know.
I'm so glad
we all know where this is going.
Yeah, because Thanksgiving's tomorrow to one of our listeners. So if you see a huge spike in toilet use this weekend.
Now, I would say some of this story, I think, is attributed to like the actual number of people. Like, obviously Thanksgiving is a big holiday for families.
Yeah.
So you get like way more people, larger groups in your house that you probably otherwise wouldn't have. But still, this is really great for this show.
But it's also larger meals. Like,
well, you're eating like
you're eating on the same schedule.
You're eating 2 fucking days worth of food like within an hour. So yeah, I get it. But according to plumbing companies, the day after Thanksgiving is the busiest day of the year for them, unclogging toilets and drains. And you may understand why. and it's so funny because the reporter that was doing the actual out in the field, he's like, plumbers, instead of Black Friday, plumbers call it Brown Friday. Which I was so fucking, oh my God, it was so funny. I'm gonna get that audio clip and just put it at the end of this episode as a little Easter egg. Robo Plumbing is a company in Bakersfield, and their motto is, we pump your dump. Gilbert Herrera, who I guess is the owner, was saying that, quote, the people were, oh my God, it's so gross. I guess they went to someone's house. They didn't say who, obviously, because it was probably so embarrassing. But
Grandma's house.
He said, unquote, and I quote, the people were scooping what was in the toilet and throwing it out of the window.
No.
Yes, that's fucked up. I mean, first of all, let's just unpack that a little bit. Could you imagine going home and like your uncle and your dad is like fucking going in there and
with
like
a shovel?
Like what?
Get an auger, people.
But then again,
learned.
Look, I've never been to Bakersfield, but that's the way you guys
if they
do.
live in an apartment building?
Oh, that's even worse.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know what they do in Bakersfield, but Jesus Christ, get your shit together, Bakersfield. Fuck. So anyway, yeah, this Gilbert and his apprentice Jordan Saul have seen firsthand how dirty the plumbing business can actually be. I mean, they're basically saying like you're welcoming all these people. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the story, like you get all these guests coming to your house, and they're just saying that like and mainly I think this probably has more to do with septic tanks too. I feel like they're a little more delicate. But basically, yeah, people are saying like Thanksgiving, like according to Roto-Rooter, customer calls increased 50% the Friday after Thanksgiving and 20% uptake in normal business, which is so crazy.
Wow.
Which means there's a whole lot more nose plugs. Also, in the story, the video component to this, the guy was like, they were like unclogging the septic tank, and this dude, the reporter guy, was like, "Woo, that smells real bad." I mean, like, and they basically say it's not just toilets; it's like your sink, your bathtub, washing machines, everything that could back up your drains around the Thanksgiving.
What? Wow, people are getting crazy.
I mean, it's just nuts. I mean, it's just like it's really crazy. They're saying when you pump your tank down, it takes anywhere from a few days to a few weeks for it to like kind of work back to like a working level. And they're just saying, I guess because of the overload in Thanksgiving, it just like, it's like the system's overwhelmed. And he's like, here's some tips to prevent plumbing issues. Don't use a lot of toilet paper. Good luck if you don't have a fucking bidet. No baby wipes, which people use baby wipes like fucking Tic Tacs. And no large pieces of food. Who the fuck is putting that shit? But it's just
like people with the eating disorder.
Well, sorry, I guess.
Sneaking the
well,
food
no,
into
maybe
the
some of that.
bathroom.
I should dial that back a little bit. It did say no large pieces of food in sinks and garbage disposals.
Oh, yeah.
And don't pour grease down the sink.
Ugh.
But I could see someone putting like, they're kind of like hoarding some food in the bathroom, and they're just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna get rid of this. Like
shoving a drumstick down there.
some turnips, some candied yams. They're like, I don't like
buy
this
an
shit.
auger.
Yeah, buy an auger.
We've learned plungers are not great for your toilet. An auger is the way to go.
They fuck up the wax seal.
Yeah.
But with that awesome holiday issue news.
Which also, I don't know if I said this in the beginning of the episode because I was eating food. Yes, I eat while talking about poop. But if you have any awesome hot Thanksgiving stories about your poop, please email us at heypoopypodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to read those stories on. So if you're at home tomorrow on Thanksgiving with your family and somebody has a great shit themselves or clog the toilet story,
make a little note, send it to us at heypoopypodcast@gmail.com.
And we also have learned that if you do clog the toilet, turn off the water lines first before you keep flushing.
Yeah.
That's where the spillover comes. You go to that little nozzle on the back.
It's a real hectic time, and I guess I know you're panicking, but just take a moment, breathe for a split second, and just turn that valve off.
Well, especially if you're a guest at somebody else's house.
Exactly.
That's a nightmare.
You don't want it spilling over.
Yeah, because you're never going to get asked back again.
Yeah, but please send us all your stories.
Yeah,
we would love to know.
And with that, Craig, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
You're delightful. You had so many great, fun stories you shared with us, and we're definitely going to follow up and hear some more.
Thank you. I'm glad to talk about my favorite subject.
Our new booking agent.
Yeah,
she's brought us some great guests.
Home runs.
Yeah,
this was a home run. Thank you.
I'm sorry you had to hear my drag queen / 13-year-old boy going through puberty voice for the past hour.
I think it works well on the air. I think so.
my shitty vocal cords.
It sounds like you've been smoking like a pack of cigarettes before you got here. Yeah, Pall Malls, unfiltered. Craig, where can we find you?
Yes.
When I'm not pooping?
No.
Just, like out in the world, social medias, or not.
I don't do much social media.
Okay.
I mean, nobody.
Where can we see your work? Well, many films.
Well, I hate to associate the subject of this film with this particular topic, but no. But I made a documentary about Vidal Sassoon.
Ooh.
Really? Oh, wow.
Which came out some years ago. It's I think still on Amazon.
Oh shit!
Streaming. But he was he was quite a gentleman, and he would never have a conversation like this. I'm a little embarrassed to relate him to such a scatological topic, but
if I make the money that Vidal Sassoon does, I might just be like, you know what, that was the thing I did way back then. But we don't talk about such things anymore.
And other things are in progress, so I can't share much about that. And then other things are commercials and stuff.
Cool.
Well, I guess
Google
I imagine
me,
if we Google, you can find you, and we'll
and I'll give you the picture. I'll send you the picture,
do.
So if you guys can share
we
that.
post on our social media.
Yes.
Hey Poopy Podcast.
Yeah, I don't have any. I don't have much of a social media.
No, that's okay.
I mostly just read other people on Twitter and get upset.
All right. Well, for those of you who want to find out more about Craig Teper, just Google him or watch the film.
God.
What's the name of the film about?
It's really hard to remember. Vidal Sassoon, the movie.
Perfect. I love it.
I already forgot it.
Who? Midal Sassoon? Well, go check that out. And again, thank you so much for being on the show.
It was a pleasure.
And
thank you.
You were amazing.
Thank you so much, everybody, for listening to my terrible voice.
And we'll see you and Ellen's revised, back to...
I hope so. By the next episode.
Yeah. Fresh as a daisy voice.
I'll be sounding like a ladies then.
Yeah.
And with saying that, happy pooping, everybody, and toot, toot, toot. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to Shooting the Shit with Dave and Ellen. You can listen to us on platforms like iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Spotify, Stitcher, and even YouTube. Please download, rate, review, and subscribe to any and all of those places. And tell all your friends about us.
For more about Shooting the Shit with Dave and Ellen, you can check us out at heypoopypodcast.com. For questions, product reviews, information, please email us at heypoopypodcast@gmail.com. And you can see us on Instagram at heypoopypodcast.
Theme song by Jordan Perlson. Hey, Poopy.
Oh, that one's gross.
Very wet.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Hey Poopy, how you doing? Hey Poopy, how you doing?
Man, I'm just, trying to find a place with like-minded people to talk about like-minded things about me, about poop and stuff.
Hey Poopy, how you doing? Hey Poopy, how you doing?
Oh man, what's this right here? Is this a podcast about poop?